protected it.
Oh, Kissay!
Welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog, and wait, I'm not the host.
Yes, I'm the host, but I'm also grabbing a scrum-diddly-umptious dare. Skimmy, do you want one or are you good?
Yeah, I would like a mocha.
A mocha?
A mocha?
Oh, mate, I've got a mocha for you already. Right here.
Yes,
Look at
I
him.
love this.
Oh, look at him. There you go.
Let me just take one of these.
Grab me a double breatho. Kitty, you don't want one, do you?
Blue steel.
I would like a mocha too.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Empty in the fridge. Gonna have to go grab more out the back. Here you go.
Thank you for the mocha.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, yes, of course, we're back for the third game of the day. It's going to be an interesting one. Peace and Gravitas, of course. And these guys, we know that they can definitely get a win on a good day. And I heard there might be a little bit of a roster shuffle coming in with Big T Shen coming back as well. So
Yes.
what do we have to say about Thomas Shen? Do we expect this lineup to excel without Piglet and him coming in, Rusty?
This is a conversation we've had not just once, but every single time they sub between them as to why you would go for one or the other. Often it is just a result of someone doing better in practice because they both actively play.
Yeah.
Last time Thomas Shen was the starting AD for a string of a few weeks, we were asking for Piglet. And now that Piglet's been the starting ADC for 4 weeks,
Yep.
we've been asking for Thomas Shen. And it hasn't made enough of a difference at any point for us to be like, that's the one. But there are definitely some small differences between the players. So Thomas Shen is also one of the Ashe players. I feel like he's got a little bit more carry potential in him. I feel like Piglet's a bit more passive overall. But, I mean, I can't personally give a real reason for or against either.
I think the main difference between these two players is their champion pool. Back then, it was an MF Xayah meta, where MF was a pickle bad. And when it comes to the current meta, Ezreal has been dominating most of these games. So we do know that Thomas Shen is quite a proficient Ezreal player. So I'm not really surprised that they did put him back on the roster and he'll be starting today.
You know what's amazing to me?
He's double dipped.
Every
He's triple
time,
dipped.
every time Mac has to drink, because he's got such a monster mustache, he has to
Chooses to drink.
open mouth
Oh, yeah.
to like avoid the mustache being hit by the lip
water
of the
cup. Do
drink.
you like my little
I
straw?
love the straw, bro.
It's so good.
The
It's,
LCO
There's no
blue.
water left.
it's
but-
on point.
Anyway, I usually drink out of a straw solely to not get messed down here because moustaches, they're a thing. Anyway, let's talk about Peace because it's a two-horse race here today. And Peace have been
Oh my
getting
God.
dubs. They got a dub finally. They've also changed out their ADC, which I feel like a lot of people are very, very confused, maybe even surprised about.
The king's back.
Oh,
The rookie's back.
Oh.
The prodigy's back. The apprentice is
We
back.
said that when Violet joined.
No.
We said the
I'm
king's
rewriting my
back.
world. I say it every time. I've got it
Which
stuck in my
king?
head. I think a piece the king is back. That's the only bit of marketing stuck in my head. Now, what I will say, though, he was the only person to get a pentakill all of Split 1. Did it against the Chiefs, right? Played Caitlyn. Maybe just bring back some Caitlyn Karma. Let's just get some cheese in the bot lane. Let's just push some turrets. Let's get bored with playing this Ezreal gameplay because why not? It is an interesting discussion, right? Because you have to wonder, why is Violet not playing, given that he has, in my opinion, not been a problem, but it could be a similar conversation to why he brought T Shen in, right? Maybe just during that practice week, you've said consciously have a break, reset. We're going to try something different here. This isn't going to be the highest stake game for us. I say that, but in the past, Gravitas did win their head-to-head 2-1. So
True.
who knows?
true. Well, let's see if the head-to-head is going to struggle this split or if it's just going to work out. Because, look, Peace with Kay on there. I wonder, this is that conversation we were talking about earlier, whereas Cheon plays a select champ pool, one of which is that one we were talking about before, the Kalista.
Yes, I'm coming up with a theory. So, like Skimmy said, I don't think Violet's actually been the problem for Peace where they have received those losses. But, like Rusty said, he's been begging for more Kalista, and Cheon used to be a Kalista one-trick. And I know he loves a good Taric, so maybe we will see a Kalista Taric coming into this game because they are going against Gravitas, so maybe something more experimental. We can test our limits, perhaps?
Maybe. Are we expecting that, though, or are we thinking...
I'm gonna put my eggs in the basket. Is that how you say it?
Like, Wait, like a goose egg, like a 0, like we were talking about before?
Put all
I'm
your
gonna
eggs in
put
one
my-
basket.
All your
Yeah,
eggs in
yeah.
one basket.
All
Like,
eggs.
all in.
I'm gonna all in that they're gonna pick Kalista today.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, I hope Gravitas isn't listening, or. But
Who do we have for the
obviously,
interview?
Kitty's not peace. Who do we
Is
have?
that
For the
a
interview?
Uh-oh.
Our
Uh-oh.
interview for tonight is the returning king, like Skimmy said,
Oh, no.
Thomas Shen. So, T-Shen, welcome back into the LCO. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Pretty excited for today.
Very good. Now, can I ask, why the change today? Is it just, it's your turn to see if you can find some success for Gravitas, or was Piglet not pulling his weight? You want to give us any goss, huh?
I think maybe it's my turn, because I feel like I'm playing pretty well recently. So yeah, the team's giving me a shot.
True.
And you are going against Peace Cheon, where you guys have won the head-to-head whipping 2-1. So, how are you feeling in terms of confidence going against your old enemy from last split?
I think I played against Cheon twice, and I've won against him both times. I thought it was gonna be Violet playing today, and that would be a bit more scary. But yeah, I think it might be easier today because Violet's not playing.
Now, look, before we jump on into the game and stuff, I just want to know, because of course it is International Pineapple Day. What's your favorite pineapple flavored thing?
Pineapple? I don't know, the last time I ate a pineapple flavored thing, so it's pretty hard.
What about fruit? When did you last have pineapple on its own?
Never.
All right, well, I'm done with the interview. Thanks, Tom. Look, I hope you have good luck, and I
Tom?
hope Tommy. Well, it's short for Thomas. Shen.
T-Shen.
T-Shen.
Best
Oh,
of luck,
sorry.
T-Shen, and I
Sorry,
love
Tom.
the bear in the back. It's really cute.
Thank you.
I think you stun-locked him.
Yeah, you really did
You
stun
legit
lock him.
CC'd him in an interview.
Yeah, I
He
just
was
hit
just
it.
like, what is happening? Get me out.
Thanks, Tommy.
I'm going to go play the game now. Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom S. Shen. T-Shen.
Yeah. We know.
Shocked.
We know. So I don't think anyone's ever called him that.
Wait,
Just based on the reaction.
I have actually had a few friends, and if you call them Thomas, when they're like, no, it's Tom, even though the name is Thomas. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, look, Dare fan vote time. Put your Twitch points on Tom or the other team. Who's the other team? Peace.
Yeah.
Cheon.
Tom and Cheon.
Shay.
Nah.
O. Shayo.
T-Shen and Chaeyoung.
It's not very easy to nickname that name, is it?
What about Gunny? Crabbles.
Crabbles is,
I
Crabbles is my
personally
favorite.
enjoy Gunky Wonky.
Well, I like Dare Ask Coffee, and look, I also like our predictions because I got mine right
my
last time. So
days.
Skimmy, pretty happy there, and everyone has gone with Peace for this matchup today. So. Let's talk prediction percentages. What are we going to give Grav with this change up to the lineup, knowing that T-Shen's here and he's never lost a game to Cheon in his life?
How do you even give this game a percentage?
50-50.
How do
man.
you even-
50-50.
Honestly, it's
I agree.
50-50. Peace on paper should win. Peace in performance, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
So we've all gone for Peace because they should win, but no one knows. We're flipping a
Recency
coin
bias.
up
The
here. Yeah,
recency
They
bias I
won
had.
their last game.
it's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
When they were
Okay.
gifted a win.
Now, percentage basis. I love them. I love percentages. You've given Kalista the hundo, 100%. Out of-
Amazing, by the way,
passion-
that we had
passion.
Thomas Shen listening. Of all
He's
people,
like,
it's the direct
"Draft me,
opponent of the
Kalista coaches."
Kalista. It's like, ban it.
He's like, I think we should definitely
be
ban
so funny.
Kalista.
Leaking strats.
Skimmy.
Yes.
Skimmy, my friend.
Mac, my brother.
You're the best yarn spinner I know. And I want you to tell me
Okay.
how Gravitas are going to win if they win today.
Well, what Gravitas going to do is they're going to mind control Peace into drafting a comp with no engage, just carries across the board. They're going to draft Ezreal Karma in the bot lane. They're going to lose it. They're going to give T-Shen a hyper carry. It's going to be a Philios. It's going to be Jinx. He's going to scale. He's going to get 3 items. He's going to 1v9. He's going to win. He's going to smile. He's going to come back into another interview and try and stun like you and call you Mackie or Macy.
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 Yeah, of course.
Yeah, mate.
My good friend Tom. I love
right, mate.
I love the Llenia spun though. I love that storyline. I hope it does come to fruition so Gravitas can get that first win on the board. I feel like today's a good chance for that to happen. They couldn't get it happening against Mammoth the other week. So, you know, if Shen can bring, you know, the I guess when you have a new player in the team, you sort of go through that little honeymoon phase, even though he's been there for a while. So maybe that could be just enough to get him across the line.
But in the circumstances where Cheon has played,
Sorry, that really just came out of me.
wait, what?
I tried not to say anything. I was like, I don't know, man.
In the
Grab it at straws,
circumstances where Cheon has been subbed in for Violet, it's always been Thien on the hypercarry, or not Thien on the hypercarries, but Thien on the carry top laners, and Cheon has kind of been sacking himself. But Pieces wins this split has all been reliant on Violet, so I'm not sure if Thien is up to shape from the start of this split, but we'll have to see from this game.
Okay,
Your time?
we do.
Well, that is actually one of our talking points, right? Is that Thien has struggled a bit at times in laning phase. So I really think if there's if there's red side for Gravitas, we know how aggressive Floppy can be.
Floppy?
Oh, Toppy.
Toppy!
Toppy and Toppy.
Well,
Toppy!
It
Yes.
took us 20 minutes to mention Toppy on the broadcast,
That's
and
a record.
everyone in Twitch
Honestly,
chat.
Yeah.
Twitch chat is angry, but I'm going to bring it up. So I'm going to please you, Twitch chat. So Toppy is insane. I think he's obviously one of these like unrefined gems that has a lot of potential, right? Obviously making his way through the amateur circuit coming into this one, right? Obviously took the head-to-head against Tapoon. I think he can really look to try and bring the pain to Thien as well.
We certainly do. And if you wanted to say anything else, now is a great time to keep saying that.
Throw it back to me for Gem Select.
Toppy!
Toppy! We love Toppy.
Are we not in Gem Select?
No,
Oh, okay.
we almost were.
I thought you were trying to wrap me up because of that.
That felt like it. Okay, it's all good.
It's all good.
We can
But-
just keep saying Toppy a few times over. Toppy!
You know,
Toppy, mate.
I do wanna just, this is kind of like me, like personally, me and Toppy have experienced the same pain where I believe that he was on a really long loss streak. I don't want to say the number because he'll probably die from it.
Is it
I
above
love
10?
numbers.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay,
So
let's
like-
have a
like
guessing
20.
game. How long was Toppy's loss streak in solo queue? You have one chance.
17.
That literally took my number.
No, it's not 17.
I'm going to say 15.
No, it's not 15.
23.
No, it was 14. His
Oh,
loss streak
okay.
was 14 games in a row, which he is now on a win streak though. So maybe he has that winner's mentality, you know, coming into tonight
The
and
bounce back.
the bounce back.
Yes.
The
Yes.
hero, the underdog story. Are we going to see it today? We might just see it because, ladies and gentlemen, Champ Select is ready right now.
Yes.
But I'm going to grab my 5-gun before we go in.
You grab that, and we'll do this. Let's see what happens as we jump into this draft. Yes, we're all cracking up here, but it's no time to laugh because we've got a draft. We've got to break everything down. Yes, we're back to the old Champ Select, but we're going to see what is
Okay.
different here.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal's up. Ezreal Karma is available. Gravitas could just straight up lock that one in right out of the gates if you wanted to. Quick stock take of the draft here as well is it's a Wukong and an Ornn locked in. And based off Wukong's win rate, why is Kitty dancing?
She's dancing because she just pointed said, Peace have managed to get Wukong on red side. She's literally danced off the set.
Okay, that's what she was pointing at. That threw me so bad. But yes, that is a very good point. So I'm glad the dance gave that away. We have a Sejuani, again, blind pick first on blue side.
Yeah.
This time by Gravitas. And they've given the Wukong away. Llenia last week did pick Udyr. I think it was the last game of the week
Yeah, it
that
was
he
pretty
picked that
strong.
Udyr. It was strong. They had a Udyr Yuumi composition, however.
Yep.
To me, they're looking for a Lulu now because they've just straight up picked Kog Maw third blind into bot lane.
Yeah, they've kind of revealed
And
their
Lulu's
hand.
going to get banned because they've picked the Kog Maw. Are they going Renata, right? You ban Renata, what's left? Is it a Karma Kog Maw? If you don't pick Karma, it's Ez Karma as a response, and then I don't think
Yeah.
Kog Maw has any winning lanes. And then just color me confused.
Bit confusing, absolutely. I mean, we have seen Piglet play the Kog Maw as well. He was the one that sort of debuted the tech actually into Peace with the Frostfire Gauntlet as well, right? So I was wondering if you would get like a different champion unique to Shen to try and give him this angle, but
Like, I feel like you just, if you're going to pick the Kog Maw, you pick both bot laners together.
Sure.
Ideally not lose out on the bans, or you have so many support champions it doesn't matter, but like there was already a Yuumi taken away.
because what's left after that? It's Soraka or Renata.
Braum. Okay, so they're going to ban the Braum simply because there is an Ornn on Peace's side. They want to get rid of the direct hard counter for that engage. I feel like that does leave open things like a Renata, so that's okay. Renata decent into both Ornn and into Wukong in terms of how you play your team fighting and give something for the Kog Maw. So they'll get what they're after if that is in fact what they're after.
What do they ban away though? Because it'd feel crazy if they were to ban away one of those enchanters like the Karma, so they're forced to go for an AP ban in the mid lane, remove the Azir.
Yeah, but what's to stop the Corki, right? It's an Ezreal Corki composition. I feel like Peace are happy.
Have they not just got everything they want?
Yeah.
They've got the hard engage, they got the range.
They just pick Karma last. And
Have they not just got Orders draft from game 1 and just smashed it?
Yeah, they just laughed to the bank. I mean, Gravitas have to do something in this 4-5 to give us faith, right? Is kind of what we're... Their composition isn't bad. Udyr, Sejuani works together really nicely. Kog Maw is just that wild card thrown into the mix, but if they have the Renata, then Kog Renata works. It's a very forward-moving composition, however, where Renata more wants to kite backwards, but can work with the Udyr, can work with the Kog Maw. It's this last pick that's throwing me. You've seen the Corki. Do you just Silas, right? Do you go like an aggressive AD champion to beat the Corki, or you go the Victor and just scale alongside it because you banned Swain and Azir? That's the last real scaling option.
Got ourselves the last pick Ahri here. So they've got themselves the potential to try and pick off key individuals. And really hope that ultimately between the Ahri, the Sejuani, or even the Udyr, that whoever gets locked on down can just get shredded.
Okay, so Ahri and Sejuani both can provide setup for ganks pretty nicely during the laning phase for the Udyr. And it does provide a bit of hard crowd control, right? So this is one of those games where, like, if Apii goes teleport or Cheon goes teleport, that cleanse feels oddly necessary. But for Cheon, you don't really want to go cleanse because Renata Kog Maw doesn't allow you to do that at all. So you might just be stuck dealing with it. And it's like a Mikhail's angle if you want to get out of that one. Apii in mid lane probably can afford a cleanse, but I think teleport just, you know, it has its innate value that we've seen the rise of teleport the past couple of weeks here in the LCO.
Sure.
For even bot laners, pretty much 3 teleports in every single game. It's very rare you see a non-teleporting champion. But it seems like we're going to go with exactly what is on our screens, and I won't lie, I didn't expect the draft to go this way. A third pick Kog Maw gets the Renata that they wanted because we chose to ban the Braum away from our Ornn pick. But like literally Peace on red side get the just second pick Wukong into basically Exodia.
They got what they want.
They got exactly what they want.
They got exactly what they need to be strong in the early game, to have the late game insurance of not only poke, but just that late game damage. And they put a huge burden onto Gravitas' head that if you don't win early, if you don't get any kind of major advantages, you're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe, blow for blow with us later on in this game. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be such an uphill battle that if it comes down to a mechanic check, Peace should just outright win.
I mean, if it comes to mechanics, absolutely, that's what you would expect here for Peace. Gravitas, remember, they are a team that has been playing as a team for a while. If there's one thing that they should excel at is the ability to play around their 5v5s, but that's something that I think has been lacking from them that we haven't seen much of. However, a Peace that have subbed out their AD, unexpectedly Violet now missing in this game, and it's going to be Cheon and Gunkrab. Definitely leaves us with some question marks on how Peace's performance is going to go in the 5v5. Apii and LeeSA were the shining light of this team in Split 1. They were a major part of why this was a #1 team, why it was a title contender team.
Yeah.
And those are the two that have dropped off the face of the earth for the first 20 minutes of every game. So that's really the place that we need to see more from.
You can only hope that Peace's story for this split is the inverse of what happened last split, right? Because last split, they kind of defied all of our expectations. They were first for such a long time, then fell down to second, and then completely dropped off a cliff come playoffs, right? This time around, it's been a much slower start. We're saying that they should be up there in that top 2 position, but it's not been as easy as that. Maybe this is just like the Peace mantra where they sub players out. I mean, you bring it back to how they made that impressive run at the end of 2021, right, to make it to Worlds. They were just losing games. They had this insanely stacked roster on paper, and you're thinking, what is happening? Major roster shuffles, clinched that 5th and final spot, and then had that huge run all the way to be our champions of that year. So
We've had a couple of huge runs now, haven't we?
We certainly have, and it's kind of crazy because you just really can't write any team off. And obviously there is merit in having a strong split performance. You can't write that off completely, but something special about playoffs, sort of where your mental's at by that point. And maybe this is just a chance for Cheon to, you know, have his run in the sun.
I mean, we also have so many patch changes. We also have so many meta changes. The reality is, like, if you hit your stride during the start of playoffs, you are the most likely team to win.
Sure.
But oftentimes, I mean, if we go back way through Oceanic history, I don't think we've ever had a successful full gauntlet run up until the LCO, right? Where Order completed it, they did the Miracle Piece, have done it as well now. We've had 2 of them. But in the past, it was always the first place team just won.
It was a sure thing.
And that's the reality of like playing in competitive league is you should be rewarded for playing well during the regular season. That's what the Chiefs right now are currently affording themselves. And that's where having to make those impossible runs come through. But like even way back when, Order's miracle runs just got shut out when they made finals because the best team was waiting for them in the finals to stamp it out.
And they always talked about the Gauntlet buff, and finally it actually happened in that last split. Yes, a bit of a lobby remake, so things are taking a little bit longer than we would like to get in. So we'll welcome back our beautiful friends on the other couch here and just continue the conversation.
Look, it's fun. I did get my 5 gum, and I got to watch Champ Select, so I'm happy as Larry, but you can call me Mac. Don't call me Larry.
I'll call you Larry.
Either way, look, I'm really, really happy. I love Udyr. I love when we get to see Udyr. I was saying to Kitty, maybe there's a good chance here, depending on how Llenia plays him, because he's just got that crazy, fast, bloody full clear. And that's never really changed. But are we going to see Gravitas try to take this in the early game? Or, like, they have a lot of scaling.
One thing I will say, you know how Kitty was saying that it was 100% going to be a Callista? We had the Callista played by Voice in their game against Gravitas into the Udyr last game. That was the last game of last week.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like Voice just couldn't play the game, right? The Callista just got absolutely smashed by the Udyr, so maybe.
I'm losing my marble. I lost my marbles in the green room when I saw them block in Ezreal come.
The prophecy has been complete.
They're actually just running it back because maybe they're not dropping the ego and they're like, it's not the champions that are bad. It's that we were bad back in split 1 or something. So they're going to pull it back and with a different support this time. So maybe Ezreal Kama will work. Maybe.
What happened to allow Wukong to exist?
They buffed him.
No, I mean...
As in how did he get picked by Peace?
In the draft,
First pick Sedge.
Like, why did they not ban it?
Sejuani's way better than Wukong.
We've had so many different, like... every team, I feel like there's almost a scrim culture of opinions. And like we don't get to see all of this, right? So it's speculation, but like the Direwolves came into the interview and Poltron was like, you just ban it. Like you just take it off the table. It's too broken.
Yeah.
And so like they banned it, but our first and third game it hasn't been banned, it's been picked. Which means like we're getting clear differences of opinions right now, but like Wukong's stats speak for itself. It was an 89% win rate before today, and it's just continued to win.
Well, look, Skimmy's yarn was on point with the Ez Karma, but he said, but they don't pick any engage. But they got like the greatest possible engage.
That's true. Well, I just remember last time they played a comp, which was literally Hecarim versus the world. It was LeeSA saying, look, boys, we're going to get it done. And we had a hole breaker Thien playing Kindred. And you're thinking, that's kind of spicy. And it was almost one of those cases where Thien said, we do a little bit of experimenting. We do a little bit of trolling and tried a few different things out. And look, ultimately, the experiment didn't work in their favor. But maybe this is a case for them to say, you know, we're 0-2 so far as a bot lane with the Ezreal Karma. Let's run it back and make it the redemption game.
It was a learning experience for Peace in the very far
What I
end.
had was like Parvu's voice in my head saying, trolling. You know the accent he puts on?
There you
That's
go,
all I could
make
hear.
it trolling,
I miss Parvu. And now,
Me too, man.
while we all, you know, send our condolences to Parvu because he's not in our country and he's so far away over in the EU lands, we are just going to go to a quick break, but after the break, we'll be back with the game. So don't go too far, okay?
Bye, Pabu. Affected it.
Oh, Kissy!
Welcome back, and thank you very much for bearing with us. A few champ select issues, and it looks like we are back up and ready to rock and roll. If you're just joining us, it is our third game to start off another week. It's week 4 now here in the LCO, and this is going to be a chance for Gravitas to try and find their very first win, and for Peace with a switch up in the bot lane to find a second.
Definitely a lot of questions to ask here, Skimmy. Just glad that we're finally onto the Rift and that everything has been resolved. So lots to look forward to here with some pretty wild compositions.
Certainly were some interesting discussions we had as the champ select went off. The fact that red side managed to actually cop a Wukong. They pretty much got their Exodia, if you will, but Gravitas have certainly come in here with a game plan, and we'll be hoping that it works in their favor. Let's hear from Gravitas then. Let's check in with Mystic. How are you, mate?
How you going, lads?
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. Game 3, always exciting. Well, I have to ask, obviously coming into this one, because a lot of changes have been made on either side. So was that the area of focus, the bot lane going into today?
No. That was actually kind of a, I don't want to say it kind of fell by the wayside, but it was just something that Simon and I kind of looked at as far as scrims went this week, and we're like, yeah, might as well give it a go, you know? And so just trying to, you know, sometimes when things aren't going your way, you just got to shake something up, and so seeing if we can do that this week.
No doubt. I had to ask then, I mean, looking at this one, Simon have actually mentioned to me that it's going to be a, quote, free win up against these boys. Obviously, you hold that record head-to-head last, but what do you think it is that Gravitas have stylistically into Peace that makes it so favorable for you, lads?
I think we're, I think we're just better. I really do. I think we just have a better grasp on what our identity is and what we want to play for, and where our strong points are and how to play into them. So,
fair enough. Well, I'm excited to see what that looks like, man. I love the confidence, Mystic. We're going to jump into the game, potentially not miss any first bloods, and wish you boys the best of luck, eh?
appreciate it, mate.
You know what I love the most about that? Is
What?
the
What is
evil
it?
laugh.
It's the
Like, I hit him with the question, he ponders, he laughs, he's like, I'm going to hit this man with some hard-hitting
it's the,
facts.
do
And
I
was
say
like,
this out loud?
I
laugh.
respect
Yeah,
the
yeah.
confidence. I love it.
It's the laugh of like, I know what I'm thinking, but like, what am I going to say?
Should I say this?
Is this, yeah, all right. We're just better. But look, the
What a
confidence, we'll see if the confidence can be backed up here. Peace have definitely been a tumultuous team in terms of performance, but they've got the Ezreal Karma. They've got a Corki mid. They've got very much a composition that we saw success from, very similar to Orders almost of game number 1. The Ezreal, however, is going to be a little bit of a point of difference. Very good scaling from them. Also nothing seen level 1, right? So we're just hoping to see scaling if you're a Peace fan, get them through. LeeSA level 6, look for some gank angles. You've got Ornn with the ult. You've got the package timings as well from Apii.
Certainly do. A lot of strong objective control as you highlight. Which is interesting, right? Because the stats for Peace the Split haven't been the most flattering when we're doing a bit of a check-in with it, especially that gold difference by 15. We have seen, you know, Gravitas and Mammoth be down there, sub 3,000 at the most part. But right now, Peace aren't too far away, down by 2,200 at the 15-minute mark. It seems almost criminal to say that they would be associated in the same conversation, given that they have been championship winners. But look, you can't go past current form. And yes, they can win in very crazy circumstances up against Pentinet, but they'll be hoping for a much more clean affair today.
Clean's definitely a good way to look at it. We have no idea what we're actually going to get, Skimmy. So one step at a time, I think, for us at the very least, as spectators of this one. How clean will it be? Well, let's see how the first steps look like. So far, I would expect nothing but passive play. You've still got the Udyr that wants to full clear first and foremost. So that's going to be the first big thing that you're looking for. He's going to be spotted, but the sweeper timer was correct by Llenia and should clear a little bit faster than the Wukong. So in reality, you know, had that opportunity to make that first punch first. But it's just going to fizzle into a reset, into another full clear, presumably for the Kog spawning side of the map. It's actually the Gromp spawn rather, because he did a blue side start. And we just go business as usual, right? Every level, Kog Maw gets in W, bit of extra range. Karma's been harassing really nicely, but at the same time, you look at Gunkrab's health, he's actually been poked out. And for Thomas, Shen, and Floppy, they have potions everywhere, right? It's boots and a 4-pot start here for Thomas down there in bot. So it gets the sustain through a fair amount of the Ezreal Karma poke, and we've seen a lot of that used already.
Look how much harass there is, and as you say, I mean, it's not all about the Ezreal being the one that will look to try and bully you. Certainly, T-Shen's answering back, right? Really making sure that Gunkrab's life isn't as free from this bush.
It's like what we said with the Twitch game, right?
Exactly.
Like those champions, Twitch, Kog Maw, you always look at them and say, well, they're free in terms of scaling damage and team fights, but you always forget about just how much they can do in lane if you make a mistake. They've always got the opportunity to smash you. Now, I think it's worth pointing out here, as Llenia is running everywhere really quick, you could say swiftly, has gone straight for the Boots of Swiftness rush. Just wants to navigate the map quick. Normally, you'll see Boots of Swiftness into a heavy slow-based composition. There's only a Corki, really, that can apply a... sorry, not Corki, Karma, that can apply the slow.
Yeah, even the package on Corki, sure.
Yeah, sure. But even like the Mantra Karma Q is a persistent slow because it's the area. So the Boots of Swiftness, I think, are just Llenia saying, I have full cleared. I just want to get my boots to run as fast as I possibly can with Ghost to catch people for the purpose of playing my champion, not because it's like overpowered or something in this draft.
I'm not going to be too worried about tenacity gains or any form of
No.
auto attack reduction. I just need to be quick. I just need to lock down a key target, let the rest of my team then follow things up, be it the Ahri charm, be it the Sejuani
You'll
passive.
also have Serilders at some point for the Ezreal, right? So like really it is about just catching the Ezreal, catching the Karma, not letting them get away, continuing to be as slippery as you possibly can. And just, you know, being able to continue to be a factor in fights where Udyr's biggest weakness is just people walking away from you.
Yeah.
Just hard counters you. So the more efficient you are at keeping up with people, the better you'll be.
Obviously, the fact is that anybody gets CC'd, then later on into this game, this Kog Maw can be an absolute threat, can just stand and deliver. And will certainly be a consideration as we do go into this one. But, I mean, this is interesting for me. Maybe it's not the matchup we were expecting, or should I say hoping for right here in the top lane. A Sejuani going into an all, not going to be the biggest demonstration of their mechanical prowess or their carry potential per se. There is certainly some skill expression in it. But I think that's more going to be the nuance and how they can look to try and manage wave states when they can TP, if they can find angles to roam and assist elsewhere.
We are just chilling in this game. In almost every possible way, we are just chilling. There is 3 tier builders on the side of Peace. There is a tier for sure on the side of Gravitas for Toppy. There is 4 refillable potion users for Gravitas as well, just about sustaining through lane, pushing and having priority at all times. And there is 3 as well for the side of Peace. We are just chilling. We are just getting as much as we can. We're getting as much as we can done early without pushing limits, without pushing boundaries. First Drake, it's a 7-minute Drake. That's nice for Peace, but at the same time, no pressure to do anything afterwards. It's a Hex Drinker rush from Apii on his first base. He doesn't want to die. He just wants to continue to farm, get the levels and scale. This puts behind, you know, mythic item purchases and big item spikes for damage. But his priority is on not dying. No risk, you know, for the late game payoff.
Certainly not unheard of, though, for a Corki. Can certainly delay that the item spike for such a long time, especially when Luden's was the go-to. Obviously, now we're seeing a little bit of Leandry's in the mid lane for the Corki instead as well. I will say, though, I'm seeing a lot of pressure from Gravitas going towards top side. Anytime Llenia gets the opportunity to try and sprint top to go towards this Ornn, he's having a crack at it. We saw before that play for the Dragon claimed by Peace that even DaJeung was there waiting in the area. So if they can shut down this Ornn nice and early, certainly an angle for them to feel confident about.
The other thing that is crazy for me is it was 4 potions to start for Thomas Shen, straight into a refillable potion purchase. He has spent so much money on just health sustain
Sure.
for that lane. Didn't buy any lifesteal items, has actually in fact gone straight for the Berserker Greaves for the movement speed, the attack speed. So is compromising as much as he can to stay relevant in that lane and not get poked out by the Ezreal Karma. That poke is still definitely adding up though. Every time we look down there, it's push, it's priority, it's the ability to poke. That big rocket just missing, Skimmy.
Yeah, still though, copping a fair bit of damage, even just having to walk in there to see exactly what Peace were up to. But they've been gifted a freebie, really. Drake into Herald, into a start that hasn't really been too stressful for them to actually achieve.
Not at all. They just get to do the objectives, right? Bit of priority there from Gunkrab. Numbers advantage. Free as you like, they'll walk in, they'll body away Gravitas. Mid priority is a big factor in that, and DaJeung's had none of it. He's actually very much struggling to keep up with the priority. It's a lot easier to force prio, I do feel like, as a Corki with a Hex Drinker rush. The chances that you die getting punished with like a charm into a combo is almost 0 now. You've got the tier build to just expend mana off cooldown, do as much as you can. So we are just going to scale.
And we are finally going to get that invitation topside. They've been trying this. This will be their third time, and this time it may just work. They're looking for Thien. He's burnt the flash. He's tried to hit the Bellows Breath, but look, he had nowhere to run. He had no health to work with. And that's just first blood for Gravitas.
And I'm looking at the ward that was placed by Peace near the blue buff 9.5 minutes into this one. I feel like that ward provides nothing. Just really looking at its positioning, right? A ward in the river's probably going to provide more value for not dying to ganks. Thien was really overextended, looking to emphasize his 1v1, at least on the other side of the map. So that's a bit of an oopsie there from the top lane of Peace, but Herald to be summoned.
Huge.
Could be a full turret here.
Yeah, really nice answer here from Peace, right, to try and find retaliation for that first blood. They zone him away from a lot. Oh, TJ very low. The top's not going to fall on down, but it is fragile. And he can chug that refillable potion.
They're so afraid. They must feel like someone's here, even though the play was made top lane. So perhaps it's the internal timer in their minds thinking that Udyr's faster than he was. Perhaps they're afraid of a teleport, but it's not 14 minutes in the game for those to be unleashed.
It was looking like a flash engage with a Cyclone, knock them up, get a double kill, get the turret, it's gone. Absolutely.
I'm shocked they didn't try and dive, but eventually, the level 6 was there from Renata, and that becomes impossible. But they had the window, they just chose not to take. What's interesting is in the total gold, it is in fact the Ahri that is on top of the leaderboard right now. Not by a lot, but that's considering the time that Apii has spent getting priority for the Drake, getting priority for the Herald. DaJeung has been able to just sit mid and collect those waves. It's a small amount, but it means he's well and truly still pretty happy in this lane.
He's got a bit easier, however, for Apii, as he's now got that blue buff. He certainly needs it. Very crippled on that mana pool as it stands. May just, in fact, go back to base. Must be sitting on a fair chunk of change. That does give the invitation, however, for the mid-jungle of Gravitas to get a little bit excited, go for a cheeky roam, assert themselves, a bit of deep vision as well to keep tabs as to where LeeSA is. But he's gone back to base, that's what we know.
Play's going to be for the Drake in 40 minutes here, primarily for both teams. The blue buff for extra push and priority in mid is going to be pretty large for securing that one for sure. And I think it's very easy if you are Peace to try and force mid priority and transition from mid to bottom in terms of control to try and play for this bot lane outer turret. That feels like, to me, the natural course of action here. Depending on how Gravitas choose to play this, right? Because they can choose to try and contest this Drake. No one's going to have a mythic item. Ezreal is actually the strongest person on the map presently. It's a pretty big factor here, and LeeSA knows it.
They can find a kill going into this one. This would be all they need to guarantee that Drake, but Llenia knows that would seem a little bit too convenient.
Llenia wants Chaeyoung to eat forwards there. The W was hit onto Thomas Shen, and he was almost baiting it in terms of positioning. This is a really big tell. It's also going to be spotted now with this ward.
DaJeung was on his way, and Apii was roaming down through mid lane back to waves.
Yeah, package is up.
There was a world in which Gravitas could have made that play, but ultimately they were hoping that Peace were bite the bullet, get a bit too impatient.
Apii delayed his base to make sure it coincided with this package pickup as well. It should just secure them the Drake. It'd be their second of the game if they get it. So well and truly on the way to the one big win condition that exists presently. But this is maybe, by the LCO standards, I would say by far the most passive early game we have had, with neither team really wanting to do anything. Extremely and completely averse of any risk or danger.
Maybe the closest we'll ever get to LCK. I mean, I know they get first blood in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. But that was special.
That was
special is the word that I heard.
That was an experiment.
I remember I had that game on my second screen and I very quickly paused it and was like, I can't do this. Like at some point I have to watch it. I'm glued to my screen just to see, will something happen? But as an LPL caster of old, that was terrible.
Yeah, complete polar opposites of how they approach the game.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not going to be kills, at least it's going to be cheeky moments like this where you are at least exerting some pressure on the map, zoning away your counterpart, and trying to find those incremental leads that could lead to something bigger. Still nothing really separating these two teams in terms of a gold gap, but I mean, Peace will be sitting pretty. We say it double time, but ultimately because they got two Drakes and two very comfortable late game champs.
Llenia going to pick up that camp Skimmy, and I actually like the attempt from Thien. He knows that he's in danger and this top is not a safe space. So he actually tries to go for the Krugs before Llenia could get there. This ult doesn't really have enough damage to one-hit an entire wave, but it does help to make the minions one hit by the turret. It should still be enough to tank it though if you were Gravitas, so they will secure it.
Yeah, just wants to buy time right now as DaJeung hits a max range charm. Cops a full common to Gunkrab down to 50, so he's down to chugging refillables as well. Basically a race between who can push harder, top or bot. As the fight goes on, LeeSA looking for the kill on towards DaJeung. Gonna get locked in place here by the Everfrost and absolutely breaks his ankles. Fantastic from the mid laner of Gravitas. Oh. And he's very lucky to be alive after the true shot barrage.
Yeah, they'll have a lot of blinking health bars there. DaJeung does survive, has teleport ready, so it does mean that the continuation of the play can end up going towards this Rift Herald piece. However, looking to contest this one. They'll put some bodies in the river.
Oh no, Llenia's a disaster. He can't actually claim the Herald after it. They put in all that good work, but it was done on vision. There's the knock-up, there's the CC, there's the damage, there's the follow-up. Oh my gosh. So low on that bailout, but just has enough with turtle form.
Daylight robbery. The Sejuani's not going for the eye either.
Just going to phase out.
I'm shocked that they didn't just tell Toppy to have a crack. Peace didn't commit themselves to a full defense. There was absolutely a world. Even look at Peace's vision. There's nothing beyond the river. Gravitas just consigned themselves to say, whatever. Like, we denied it from Peace. It is what it is. They'll lose the opportunity to summon that one. However, post 14 minutes means there's going to be no money involved if it's not a full turret. I still would have liked to see a little bit more from them. I guess we should just come back to the point that DaJeung just gets himself a 1v2 kill.
Yeah.
You know, we pan up.
It was clean.
Has the Mythic done. Straight up Everfrost, turret aggro, just MVP in that situation. The charms are connecting. That's a really promising start for Gravitas. And suffice to say that Peace have shown me nothing that gives me confidence in their ability to win this game 16 minutes in. And we don't have the fail-safe of Violet. Cheon has to be Violet to continue to give me faith in this game.
And he's had moments. He had a lot of those moments early on in Split 1, but towards the latter half, certainly the burden, if you will, of having to be the star performer in that position maybe became too much for him. Look, there's here, so we don't know exactly what happened.
Sometimes you just need a game off. Sometimes you just need one.
Ultimately, he's back. Yeah, he gets a chance to sort of showcase what he's about, what he's been learning between Split 1 and 2, how life's been like behind the scenes, and maybe just retribution. The fact that he is 0-2 into Gravitas with this exact bot lane matchup of the Ezreal Karma, maybe some unfinished business.
Well, he's going to have to get through a Thomas Shen, who can go absolutely maniacal in the way that he plays this Kog Maw when you've got a Renata to protect you. As long as you're auto-attacking, you are within your rights to continue auto-attacking, as long as Floppy's positioned correctly. We're now at a pretty dangerous point in the game, I feel like, for Gravitas. It's very difficult to deal with Peace at this point. They are hunting for Toppy here, but it's just going to be an Ezreal and a Karma that post up in mid lane. And they're able to just exist, right? And if Gravitas have a lead and they're in a winning situation, what do you actually do to break the coasting that exists by Peace here? They can play with package time. It's pretty close to the Drake. Close in air quotes. It was used quite late by Apii after the Drake was taken, so it's not going to be up for the spawning of it.
Peace, no doubt, hungry to contest this one. Whether or not they get a chance to go into it, no. Quite happy to let that one go by. Nice buffer there by Thien to not get locked in place there. By the Sejuani, out comes Call of the Forge God. More a deterrent to say you're not chasing us any further. Knocks up free. Peace is going to look to try and siege down the mid-tier one. They're going to find it. DaJeung looking on the flanks, trying to get out a key carry. Cannot find it. Hostile takeover on towards 2. LeeSA jumps in, gets stunned, but knocks up 1. It's only onto the Udyr, not the target after. He sidesteps and he misses everything.
It's just an Udyr, man.
And he's just copped a fair bit of damage and not fallen down for it. DaJeung forced to flash away. Llenia goes back in and takes out Gunkrab, but ultimately Apii gets the kill that he's after, sitting at so patiently in the back line. Hexdrinker gets procced. Everyone's blinking, but not many dying.
DaJeung's playing this Ahri really well, man. He finds the charm onto Gunkrab, hits Q and then flashes, max ranges of the Q to make sure that kill was secured. I mean, that was really well played by the Ahri at the same time. This is a game of a poke composition against an extremely fast runaway comp of an Udyr. You're trying to chase him, you can't. He's just too quick. Thien, this is the most needless thing you'll ever see. You just walk away. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this. But he just keeps going. Just tries to put damage out. They'll jump over the wall to have a crack. DaJeung has been poked out, however. Renata's ult's going to make a Karma and an Ornn hit each other. LeeSA will start the fight off with an ult. They flash to try and keep up with Llenia, who actually just counters them by walking away. And then DaJeung charm Q, flash away to make sure that he gets it. We'll be very happy with the outcome of that one. And those blinking health bars just can't be punished. You may be able to outrange. Yes, you're a poke composition from Peace. This gets better as time passes. So they've got a lot of good things to look forward to. But at the end of the day, Gravitas are the ones getting the kills and staying even in this game, 20 minutes in, with a Kog Maw.
Which is huge. Which really is huge. And that's really been the story of these two teams' history in these last few bouts that they've had, that it has been Gravitas default to a hyper-scaling AD carry and pray. They hope. And if it wasn't that, their last game, actually, I believe they had a Zeus top lane player, Kamel, went 5-0-5 into Thien. So they will invest in scaling, and it is on a patch where scaling is being more and more rewarded. So I guess they've got themselves that highway in the early game where it's not like they've just lost by a huge margin. But they can go toe for toe. And I mean, if these charms continue to land, if the threat onto Udyr is still being absorbed, why will Gravitas feel intimidated?
Yeah, the one thing that Udyr doesn't have this game is like the Lulu or the Karma to speed him up and really make him like a powerhouse in terms of impact. He's going to be a very tanky champion. It's going to be very hard to kill the Udyr, but sometimes just being very hard to kill is not enough. This is, however, back-to-back Udyr games for Llenia. The last time we saw them play, he looked solid with it, but he had a Yuumi. And that was really the crux of why this Udyr was so successful. But Peace get the Wukong right now. It's over a 90% win rate as a champion throughout the entirety of the LCO split. Very dangerous to gift that over when it's got the free engage source that perhaps Peace needed to have a chance in this game, other than the long-range scaling poke that their composition presently has. So I actually take that if I'm Kog Maw. You're the alpha. Absolutely. Can you believe that Llenia gets that wolf camp? You know who the boss is, by the way, in this game. That's all I'm saying. I spoke about this before, but there's a clear boss in every jungle matchup.
Toppy being forced to leash, Shen being forced to give. He's getting strong. 2 items complete. Well on his way to getting that third. But Toppy's going to be holding his own here in the bot lane, just keeping tabs as to where this Wukong is at any given moment. Looking to try and plant as much vision as they can down bot side, having sacrificed that third dragon. Piece is still on for that soul point. The next Drake being up in a minute.
So a couple of really big things here, Skimmy, in terms of itemization is, and we spoke about this during Champion Select, Gravitas are very stun-focused with their composition. They've got Sejuani ultimate, they've got Udyr with the bear stance, they've got the Everfrost and the Charm that comes out from DaJeung. There is a Mikhail's rushed by Gunkrab instead of a mythic item, so straight up giving the cleanse to whoever gets stunned to remove the stun lock. And there is also the cleanse swapped to by Chaeyeon. So doesn't pick it for lane like we spoke about. There's no reason to cleanse into a Renata Kog Maw, but wants it to survive outside of that, to be self-sufficient so that Gunkrab can work with the team, so that Gunkrab can protect Apii with the Mikhails because it is a teleport Corki. So very team-centric decision here from both bot laners of Peace, trying to play for survivability for the rest of the team, and Apii gets to be hyper-aggressive now as well, knowing that he's protected.
Makes sense, though. Given that this was to go to the late game, there is that insurance policy that we mentioned before about them feeling a little bit more mechanically gifted.
Apii's on the widest flank position here. Does he have the package?
He does. He may have just had to burn it, though, topside to clear out that wave. That's what he was going for before. Gravitas are on towards the Baron as Peace have been told, well, we need to go claim this Drake. Deny that off the table straight away. Do Gravitas have enough DPS? That is the question. Because True Shot Barrage is going to reveal it.
Peace is going to get here 100% in time. You're about to see crossing mid lane is LeeSA on this Wukong. Do Gravitas choose to fight this one? DaJeung on a wide flank.
Oh, good knock up, but it's not enough to prevent Thien, who's going to be ulted. Actually, 4 members going to be ulted. Shen forced to burn the cleanse. LeeSA goes in with a Cyclone, cops the Karma shield. Shen gets knocked up. The Baron is now only finally going to be disengaged away from that resistant shred. Could have been a bit of a disaster for them, but this is a calamity of skill shots being chucked out, but nobody being committed to.
It's very fair. No one being committed to, perhaps. No one really playing as a team. That was such an odd fight. I don't think we need a replay because no one dies. But Thomas Shen's playing for himself. He's got Floppy protecting him. Llenia's ghosting towards DaJeung on a flank. instead of playing front to back with his Kog Maw, goes to protect the Ahri who has flash and 3 charges of an ultimate. You're not going to get there, you're an Udyr. Meanwhile, Peace are just going to throw spells, they're going to throw rockets, they're going to deter you from doing the Baron. That's really their primary objective there. You make a mistake, maybe they get a kill. But they got what they were after, and they just continue to farm into this game. Both ADCs currently have a 150 gold shutdown with no kills. Tell me how that works, Skimmy. They're dead even, but they both have shutdowns.
Play some farm OP. Beautiful thing. When we have such a passive game like this, where both teams really have invested all their eggs into the basket of a late game team fight where you will respawn, but it just won't be quick enough. He may just be looking to end this one with a bit of a bang, with a Baron. That could just be a 50-50, quite honestly, at this point. No team really willing to give up anything.
Well, we have very different breakpoints. I think that's a nice thing to highlight for both teams in terms of when they want to be aggressive or when they think they have strength. He's have some level breakpoints, right? So Apii wants to spike with items, but also at level 16 becomes unreasonably strong. Cheon hitting level 13, meaning he has 5 points in his E, reduces the cooldown so much that he can be hyper aggressive with it. But also at his 3rd item, the E cooldown goes down so much more, right? With that extra Caulfield's Warhammer ability haste. Kog Maw is item-based. Once he hits level 9, and 5 points in Q is nice for the extra armor pen and shred for sure, but once you have an item, you're instantly spiking. And right now, he's gone Guinzu's Rage Blade with a Hurricane, which is a very low damage, but like high damage spread build, straight into what is going to be a Titanic. That 3rd item is a big damage spike.
It's a big damage spike, but will he get to actually realize it right now because he's copying a fair bit of damage? Thomas Shen actually flashing on the spot to try and, what I can only imagine, take out Apii, but that doesn't do anything. Toppy's now being caught trying to put a bit of a flank on from the side angle here. He's got his ultimate. He's going to try and chuck it at the last minute, but he's just going to die for it. The disengage angle here from Floppy's Renata is nice, but that's just going to be run down to a headbutt into the wall, and Thien gets that kill too. Very messy, very disorganized.
Everybody dying for the sins of Thomas Shen is really what that came down to. Just gets caught in indecision.
Oh! Big flash charm there by DaJeung, looking for Apii. Knock him onto Llenia. Oh, it's really looking like it's going from bad to worse. Can the Udyr run away? No! He's been rooted by the Karma. Gunkrab's done that one solid.
I mean, Gravitas are trying to get things done. They're just going to get punished immediately. The Mikhail's cleanse was too strong. Apii's going to be fine. He had flash anyway. Baron going to be started here, and Gravitas have just spontaneously combusted.
They have no flash.
There's no way you can test this. There's no way you can test this. Just let it go.
Oh, they're going to TP in, Rusty. They're going to TP in. They really want to try and force this, but how? Look, the fight's already gone. Toppy's going to jump across the wall and see if he can find any form of stragglers, but a disengage from a Karma, a Corki Valkyrie away, a disengage with a clone. I mean, how do you ever get peace?
I mean, they'll finally get to the objective that they should have been going for perhaps during that time regardless. Baron recalls are going to be there. They'll break the mid lane outer turret. This has been a string of events, a very series of tragic plays from Gravitas that have just been capitalized on, bested, one at a time. From such a passive early game that's really reliant. If you're going to have a super passive early game, you're relying on not making mistakes in mid to late game, right? You want to have that one big team fight and be better.
Yeah.
You can't afford to make silly mistakes prior to the fight happening, but that's what we just had. Not just one, but several.
Now going into a package as well. This is pretty much peace saying, checkmate, we've just got Baron, we've just won a team fight. We're just going to try and solo out your Ahri in the mid lane right there, forced to bet a Spirit Rush. The Call of the Forge Gods was just not enough, but it was damn close. You don't have to burn that package anytime soon. Why not Siege? Why not try and get a little bit of value, extract some form of value out of this Baron push, then get the soul point.
Yeah, they have a package for Soul still. Gravitas have no options to contest this. Apii single-handedly right now can body them away. If Sejuani ults, he should just be able to, Mikhail's out. Worst case scenario, he would package instead. Floppy chucks out the hostile takeover, but the cleanse was just going to get him away regardless. And so they'll secure themselves the Cloud Soul. We're getting a few too many Cloud Souls today.
We are way too many. I'm not happy about that.
It's very unlucky for the teams that are securing these ones when, like, Corki, Ezreal, you want an Infernal Soul any day of the week. Hextech Soul any day of the week, but nope. They just go a little bit faster when they ult. Nice to have the ult cooldown, of course. Corki becomes an actual machine gun. Cloud Drakes with an ability haste item in Leandri's.
But great communication from Apii and Gunkrab, right? Held his own there on the Corki. Waited till the last minute to see if anything would actually be committed. Mikhail's being burned. We're getting Gravitas definitely can't contest. So you can't contest the soul point now. Now your defense of this base becomes that much weaker. Thien jumps in like that. Not going to find the target they're after, but that's enough to try and zone them away from this turret. LeeSa's going to say, do we just go in on this Sejuani? We do, because that Sejuani's just dead in a heartbeat. 3 items complete, a full tank, but shredded like nothing.
That's a pretty free inhibitor here for the side of Peace. One mistake could be the entire game. They're going.
Another ult comes out, and another 2 members get knocked on through. Floppy forced to flash away. DaJeung soaking up that skill shot, but ultimately falling to his own demise. Shen, he's unleashed. He's 1-0-5. Ult in the base. They're not going to die. They're going to get these turrets 30 minutes on the dot. They got every single buff that this game has to offer, and they will start this one off by saying, Gravitas, you're not the better players. We are.
Pretty straightforward. Can't really fault Peace. They just did their job. They scaled into the game. They hit an Ezreal Corki composition. Nothing exceptional, nothing special, nothing above and beyond. They just played League of Legends out and they got themselves a pretty free dub on the day. Gravitas, I mean, I'm running out of words to describe that game for them, but there was really nothing to say because they did nothing for 25 minutes and then they made 3 consecutive mistakes and threw away the game after 25 minutes of just scaling. And it's really frustrating to watch, to be honest.
It's such an interesting dilemma, Mac, because like we went from a situation where we had teams like the Chiefs drafting engaged supports and whatnot, being hyper aggressive and just saying we're just going to win in 25 minutes flat no matter who it is. Then you've got other teams that are like, well, we're going to draft heavy scaling, but then lose in 50 minutes because we can never actually realize it. And now we just got to a point where teams like, we're just going to handshake each other on scaling, but we know we're the better team. So if you do nothing, if you're not proactive early, we know that we won't make those crucial mid to late game mistakes.
There was at least a lot of fun this game, right? And it looked like, especially in that one team fight early on, or I guess it was early on, probably about 20 minutes in, after everyone, I don't know, half of the team committed and then half of both teams didn't commit either. It was a really weird one to watch. Kitty and I were there just going like, what happened? Like, what really happened there? Everyone was on different pages. We're in different parts of the library.
It was the fight around Baron where we saw LeeSA, flashing over the wall, locking down DaJeung, and I believe it was Gunkrab also flashing over, while Thien was engaging on the other half of the team, which was Shen on the Kog Maw, and Cheon and someone else was kind of like wandering around. They didn't commit to any of both sides for the fight, and just like what happened, Mac, nothing happened in the early game. That's why we were like, oh, what's happening? But I don't know in what instance you actually trade over Wukong for a Sejuani top, because Sejuani isn't one of those OP champions where
it's blindable,
but it's not first pick up, like it's not priority picked. So I think not Sejuani, Ornn and Wukong have just been so strong in these games lately.
Getting a whole lot of value. Now, the other thing as well, Leandries on Corki, is that normal? Because Kitty was saying it was...
It's either the Ludens or the Leandries. I really like Leandries personally. I think that, one, the ability haste is really nice for more rockets, but also into tanky compositions, it's actually really valuable. I think the reason you oftentimes go Ludens is if you're a sole magic damage threat, because it provides flat magic penetration with the mythic passive. It's huge for like one-hit builds, but like I really like the Leandries in this game personally.
Okay, for the longer drawn
got
out
a lot of
fights.
tanks, they're just all
The
burning
percentage
and dying.
health shred.
Exactly. Beautiful. And someone that probably loved it as well, I think, is Thien, because we got an interview with him. Mate, how you feeling? Another W for Peace today.
Hey, I'm feeling... I could be doing better. I have a cough from COVID, because I just recovered from COVID just like a week ago.
Truth.
But, I'm finally glad we can finally beat Gravitas with Cheon and Ezreal Karma bot. That's a huge dub.
Winning on
Cheon.
Ezreal Karma,
Cheon,
let's
right.
go, boys!
Yeah.
But I see you on that one once again. So how do you feel being locked up in tank jail, and what do you think the team is lacking from Peace right now?
So in Champion Select, my coach was just like, hey, I think you should play Ornn. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's just play Ornn. I didn't really want to play Ornn, like deep down in my heart, but for the boys, I'll play the GOAT. And I think top lane is kind of a snooze fest. I was kind of triggered when they ganked me top, because I was just like, what the heck are you guys doing top? Like, there's no reason for you guys to gank top. Like, yeah, sure, you can play for Sejuani, that's all good. But yeah, what the team really needs right now is for us to like grow some IQ, because like we're pretty low in the IQ department right now. like it's looking good. Like we're studying for the HUC, so it's looking great right now.
True. Now, you wanna go a bit more in depth on that growing IQ, because I could probably use some of that myself. What would you do? What like would you order on Menulog to get yourself a couple more of those IQs? Bit of fish.
Okay, sure. If I was gonna order like food for IQ, I mean, like I guess scrimming better teams and actually like not mental booming would be a great way to increase IQ. Like I would like to order more better scrims, I guess.
True.
Actually finish the 5-game set.
Yeah, we'll talk to Menulog and see if they can.
I'll order a 5-game set next time we're on Menulog.
Yeah.
Thank you for the interview, Romeo. It was great speaking to you once again, and see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Alright. Thank you. See ya.
Good to chat with him. He did seem a little bit down, as opposed to the usual thing
That was
that
a casual game as well. There's no momentum. There's no like adrenaline after one like that. And I think what Thien also said kind of echoes, I think, everyone's sentiments. The fact that you've gone Sejuani first pick on blue side, you've gone Udyr with it second. You can't actually play towards the Sejuani, so there's like while you can hit a stun combo, who cares? Getting the Udyr fed was like whatever. It's a poke comp. Like you got to give us some more than that. So really, give us something in draft, please.
Well, the draft can't be the Dare MVP, but someone's got us. So who's it going to be? I'm looking at Peace. I'm looking at maybe Apii doing a lot of damage there.
I'm going to give it to Cheyenne for actually winning on Ezreal.
Can we just give it to the person who did the most damage?
Which was?
I don't know.
Cheyenne.
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it's Corki, because he was like level 15 or something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, I did get confirmation that Apii did the most damage. So do we want to give it to him for whittling down those health bars?
Yes, please.
Beautiful.
Cheyenne did the bare minimum, 005 or something.
Appy ordered enough IQ that game.
He's a cheeky one-kill gamer.
Appy ordered enough IQ to net himself the Dare Ask Coffee MVP today. 102, 50% KP, but 31% of the damage. The thing was, there was some,
that
kills.
was half the
That's
kills.
50% KP. It's crazy.
Exactly. There was like 9 kills or something in the game. It was absolutely ridiculous how low of everything.
What's he doing?
Low of everything in this
Is he
one.
Thanos? Has he got the Infinity Gauntlet? Has he got all the gems?
Kitty, what would you call this?
Showing off that Rolex.
Oh, well, showing off that Rolex right into a break, because we've got a 4th game to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, just after this, we'll have the final game of the day. It's Kanga and the Chiefs going head-to-head.
On the spot, try and, what I can only imagine, take out Apii, but that doesn't do anything. Toppy's now being caught trying to put a bit of a flank on from the side angle here. He's got his ultimate. He's going to try and chuck it at the last minute, but he's just going to die for it. The disengage angle here from Floppy's Renata is nice, but that's just going to be run down to a headbutt into the wall, and Thien gets that kill too.
Hey, look, menu pog.
So yeah, is there like a GG you can do for like Gravitas Glory? Is that the rock?
Oh, that's a bad attempt, bro.
Gravitas Glory.
Dude.
Mac is just watching at home like, we're back to the gang signs.
Okay, which player tilts you the most personally? You can't say me.
Oh, who would it be? It's definitely you or Scott.
Me?
Yeah, I mean...
I was roaming your lane. Why would I be... You're the one that doesn't call in my A, and then I die.
What are you talking... You're the mid lane.
You're playing Tryndamere, and then your guy walks to my lane and kills me.
Just look at my lane, bro. If they're not in the lane, they're missing.
Yep.
Just have better map awareness.
Which player has the most soothing voice and will make a great song artist?
Honestly, I think we all have really annoying voices, so I'm not sure. Like,
Okay.
who has a good voice on a team?
I don't know, Tristan. I really don't.
Maybe me. I feel like I have a pretty good voice.
Okay, yeah. Very biased. I try to help you there,
How
but...
about now? Does my voice sound very soothing to you? It's beautiful,
It does.
isn't it?
It
Oh,
does.
yes.
Speak like
I'll
this
speak
oracle.
like this, yes. I'll speak like this on comms from now on.
You should.
Who has the worst temper on our team?
Worst temper, soft int wise, I think Matthew and Solitude. Because what I do, listen, when he's winning his lane and I go to the other lane and then he can't punish, he gets really upset. Like the FF would start before 15. You know what I mean? Like I can tell.
Which player has the best fashion sense?
Fashion sense. Our team. Well, our team is obviously you. I mean, you're a Viking. So,
A Viking, eh?
yeah. So, but in the league, I think it's still you, Tristan. I think you just top all the charts. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
you do.
Damn. Okay.